Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious.
We live. What up, people? We got bats in the house. What up, baby? Bat players. How you doing?
Yeah, bat.
We got Jermaine in the house. And your boy Intoxicated DJ. Let's go. Oh, wait. I don't have the... I have to put... Remind me. I have to put on the... Oh, wait. You have it on your thing, don't you? The little alerts on thing. You have an air horn? Yeah. Throw that air horn in there for me. There it is. There it is. Baby Angel in the house. Let's go. How you doing, homie? Appreciate you being here. You're about to get this is a whole nother type of stream. This is the healthy type of stream. The ones that make you think, the ones that makes you feel good. All of that. This is great conversations, positive vibes. And with your neighborhood friendly Ink and Jermaine. That is water that you see him drinking. That boy is pure. Nothing but pureness touches his body.
These are angel tears.
They're good for the soul. What's going on with you, brother? How you doing?
Just enjoying life, man. Appreciating the experience that we get to do. And that is to be alive.
Indeed. I agree.
Once was a time I didn't want to be alive. I didn't appreciate what it was. But now, just enjoying it, man. Every day is a new day. Just taking every day as a new step.
That's it.
And understanding myself more and more.
I love that.
Being present to cultivate that self-awareness,
Heck yeah. And that's important. Self-awareness.
Man, that was a close-up, wasn't it? Shit.
That was a close-up, but it's good. Some people need to see the eyes. They natural, baby. Ain't no contact. Shit. You ain't about that fake life. Not up in here. So you've recently returned from Portugal. What were your thoughts? How was your experience?
It was just peaceful, man. I love going places where people are just living and they're not in a rush to compete. They're not in a rush to validate their own existence. They're just living, they're appreciating where they are and they're not looking it appears. Now, this is just my perception, or perspective, however you want to see it, but they just were existing, and they were just carrying on with daily things that meant something to them.
Mm.
So it's just nice to be somewhere that it's everybody's moving at their own pace, and they're appreciating things. There's no rush, you know. Even the restaurants you go, you could probably be in there 3 hours and no one's gonna tell you to leave. Where, stateside, after about an hour, you know,
You're
hey,
holding up the
hey,
line, baby. There are other people paying customers.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was nice though. The weather was good. I was how do you say it? Casisas?
Kaish, kaish. Kas
Oh,
kaish.
Kaish
Yeah, something like that.
Kaish Kaish
Yeah.
right there on the beach. So it was really, really nice. From my window, we were maybe what 350 feet from the beach,
Damn. The
or
ocean.
meters, I should say, maybe meters.
The ocean
But
straight spitting in your face, huh?
yeah, it was whispering to me.
Dylan was for nothing.
And, hey,
You're beautiful. You're worth it.
that makes you wet.
Let me get you moist. Oh
Oh,
shit, man. No,
but
that's
yeah,
great.
it was good, man. It was good. It was like I said, really nice to just relax. And it's amazing how we want to be active and do so much stuff, but when we actually sit and do nothing, how good it feels. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to genuinely do nothing and be with your thoughts, man.
Yeah.
It's nice.
No,
So a lot
I
of
hear
a
you.
lot of gratitude, man. A lot of gratitude.
Glad to hear that. Um,
What about
I
yourself?
first before I answer that, I want to say, how you doing, Bats? I'm doing well, man. Things are great here. We just pushing and grinding. This new segment is about healthy conversations, having a great conversation with my brother here, Ahmad, and we dissect our experiences of life, and we have healthy conversations about them. And it's a way to, it's a form of therapy for me. It's a form of showing gratitude and giving a space to show what a healthy conversation looks like. So I appreciate you being here, and it's not that I'm ignoring the chat, but while I'm having the conversation, I will paying attention to Ahmad more often than not, and then I will address the chat. But please, yeah, definitely have join the conversations, have questions. If you have questions, you have comments, have there and there, and we will address them. The more the better.
Please
So
have a
if you,
question.
if you have something to say or you want to dissect something, please comment on the chat, and we'll get you involved in the conversation. There is no set topic tonight. We're having a conversation about life. Currently, we're talking. Ahmad was expressing his experience over in Portugal, and one thing that he was talking about is the difference in the pace of life that was over there. And if I heard you correctly, Ahmad, you were talking about the slower paced, more the people there are living their life at their pace, and it's not at the same pace at all as it is here in the United States. And for
You
me,
didn't, you didn't, there was no like side hustle mentality, I gotta be doing all these things to validate my existence, to
yeah,
show that I'm being productive and successful. And look at me, America. This is how, it was, everybody was just going about their day and their life, man.
that's it. That's it. And that's one of the things for me that I enjoyed about Hawaii, right? Because for me, one of the things that everybody was upset about was the traffic, right? And how you can only go like 30 miles an hour on the highway. Like, oh, that's crazy, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, when I got there, it's like, where do you have to go that you need to go 70 miles an hour? You're on the island that you could probably walk fully around. Like, why do you need to go that fast? What is the, you know what I mean? Like, and for me, it
Yeah.
gave me a new perspective on being present in that moment and enjoying that moment for what it is, especially when you have a limited of resource or certain things. And I love the hell out of that. I love the difference in the pace, and for me, that is why I want to live my days on an island for that specific type of lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
definitely hard in
I
its ways, but awesome.
yeah. Island life is definitely different, and I love it. Ain't nobody's in a rush to do anything, man.
Yeah,
So it's nice.
indeed. No, the appreciation for the little things, I think, is a lot more evident in those environments. They don't need the people that are that in that environment. They don't need a lot to appreciate everything and take advantage of everything to its most potential. You know, and for me, that has become difficult living here in the US with how plenty and easy it is to get anything here. The big difference is the quality of what I'm getting is different here, right? It's easy and cheap to get here because it's not real. It's not the same thing. From everything, every aspect of things. So for me, in a smaller environment like that, knowing the work that it takes to create the food and to make the food and then that everything understanding of what goes into a meal eliminates all the issues that most people have because of the um, easiness that it is of getting anything in this life here in the U.S. Right? Not just the U.S. There's a lot of other places that it has become very easy to just go to the market and get your processed foods, and even now the meats we don't even know how they're really grown. We're just taking their word for it. They're just slapping organic on shit and we're like, okay, it's organic. We're just taking word for what it is without really giving it that much time for research or anything in that nature. We blindly follow in so many ways is really shocking to me. At the same time, it's even more shocking to see how easily I can follow certain things, blindly follow certain things, without much research. Because I'll sure the easy pill. Oh, I'll take it. I'll give it a try with that.
Um, when you've been conditioned so long uh, to adhere to do certain things, I mean,
Mm.
in, in my opinion, to think for yourself takes a lot of courage, honestly.
What do you mean by
You
that?
know, mo my younger years, I obviously had questions in my brain by myself, but I still probably would go more with the majority than being an individual and understanding like this is not going to benefit me or I don't like this at all, so I'm going to make a conscious decision not to do it or partake. And if I'm by myself, so be it, you know.
Hmm.
Or the younger, I was probably looking more for the acceptance or validation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, that's definitely something I would say myself is takes a lot of courage, man,
Mm.
to do all those things. So, but yeah, what I wanted to ask you, I kind of I'm sure someone said this quote, but I kind of put it together. Only through suffering do we truly understand. And what is your take on that? Like,
I can I I can definitely agree with the statement only through suffering, right? We can understand. I think that it's multidimensional. That I think through suffering we can learn, but not it's not limited to, right? And so I think we learn very important things through suffering. One of them, which is our limit, personal limits of what we can endure, what we can do, everything, our limits, right? And those are the valuable lessons that we need to learn early in life to be able to achieve the greatness that is meant for us in our lives, if you believe in that. Fate, whatever was meant for us and whatnot, or what you envision for your life to do, change the world, whatever it is.
The
And
soul's purpose.
exactly, that's the soul's purpose, indeed. And so, with that, those lessons come through suffering, and unfortunate that we have to see suffering in such a negative aspect, right? When again, like you were saying earlier, perspective versus perception, and so that is a whole nother conversation. But yeah, that's my intake on that. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we suffer because we're trying to go against what's already naturally there for us. We try to be something different than what we are actually. So it's kind of like going against evolution or going against, certain species. You don't see a cat um, combining wanting to be a dog. A cat is a cat. So I think in a sense, it's similar with our essence, our being. Like a lot of times we go against everything that's telling us that we want to be this way, but we go against it. We fight ourselves constantly. But only through that suffering and those experiences do we truly understand who we are supposed to be and how we want to act accordingly once we gain that self-awareness.
Mm,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah, something that has brought self awareness has brought to me is the fact that how can I'm trying the best way to break it down, right? For me, I've wondered what my purpose in life has been. Why am I here? Why was I born? What is my purpose? Right? Is it was been a question. What finding myself, finding my true me, and all that. That's to me is combined. And so to get to a point now in believing the fact that all of it, it's the purpose, the experience, the moments are the purpose, are me, the entirety of me, right? And what that moment at the time is, it's okay because that's what I'm choosing to be or to make it. And so, with that, there is a certain freedom that has been placed over me like a warm weighted blanket that sometimes I forget is there, but definitely keeps me safe in the sense of no matter what I'm going through, I am okay because I have the ability to change it, and it's okay because I'm choosing to be here. Even if that means being angry and wanting to punch somebody in the face. It's okay to feel that way. It may not be okay to, actually go with the actions because you're going to end up in jail and blah blah blah, all these other things, but it's okay to have thinking and have feeling it and acknowledging it and letting it go. It's okay to have gone through that. It's okay to go through that. and learning from it, and to, hopefully when we learn from it, avoiding to being placed in those same situations or positions. But overall, that is for me, that blanket is that awareness again. It's huge, and all of it, when you, how you were putting it earlier, it's gonna suck for me because I'm going against it, right? I was always, like you said, going up against what I was meant to do and trying to do. I know what feels good versus what feels bad. I know that, womanizing internally didn't feel good. Lying didn't feel good. But being the man around the boys, that shit feel good, right? Being feeling like I did accomplish something, that felt good. So how to get that feeling without actually sometimes having to do it, and that's a whole nother conversation as well. But
I was gonna
um,
say that's all fool's gold, man.
yeah, it is, and most of us are chasing it, baby. Most of us are
Yeah,
chasing it.
yeah.
Cause I
And
was,
we're
I sure was.
oh, I mean, we all do because we're trying to validate our existence, but you first have to know who you are and what you stand for.
Mm,
Once you know who you are and what I stand for, now I can have a better idea of actually where I'm going
mm,
and what I want. So if I don't know who I am, I don't know what I want. I have no clue where I'm going. I can't. I'm lost. I'm a lost person trying to find something to validate the existence.
yeah.
And by going through all those experiences, that was my trial and error to see, like, oh, no, this isn't it. But I had to come to a place of true suffering to really accept and say, I can't keep fighting it. I
Mm,
have to be who I am. I have to not be afraid of the judgment that's going to come. Because all these people that are used to me doing these things, I'm no longer going to do. I don't support it. I'm not about it. So they're going to obviously look at me some type of way. But in reality, doesn't matter,
yeah.
you know,
Mm,
because they're allowed to have their opinion of me or anybody else. So, and their opinion doesn't define who I am. It's what I do myself
mm,
and how I feel about myself and the things that I'm doing. So, a big part of the suffering, in my opinion, is getting to a point to acknowledge it, one, forgive, two, and the third step is actually accepting it. You know what I'm saying? I guess the acceptance and acknowledging would be the similar thing. And then the last step is forgiving yourself. You know, it's okay. You made mistakes. It's okay. Like that's why we're here. If we had all the answers, we probably wouldn't do half of it. But then would we really be getting a full understanding of life?
mm,
No. You know, we would get the perfect version. There would be no turmoil. There would be no, I can't think of the word, man. Adversity. There you go. There would be
mm,
no adversity to put you in a position to build that resilience and to gain an understanding of yourself. You know,
yeah.
I think that awareness is practiced every day by understanding yourself and understanding those triggers and then understanding how do I live with it. Because
Mm,
once I accept this is me, how do I live with some of these things and be okay?
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's a daily thing. And if I think this, am I a bad person? If I do this, am I a bad person? And truly, no one can tell you. The only person that has that answer is you.
yeah.
You know, how do you feel inside? Somebody could tell you all day long, oh, that's not right. You're the worst because, like for me, it used to just work me up so much is when people don't put their shopping carts back. They just leave them shits everywhere. God, it was like, how fucking lazy can you be where you can't just push that motherfucker? I get it. Somebody's job is to do it. But then I had to step out and be like, they have every right to leave it where the fuck they want. you know, it's their experience, and whatever idea or validation they have for themselves for leaving it there, it's theirs. Like my opinion doesn't matter. How I believe or feel about it does not matter.
Yeah.
It it just doesn't. And once you start seeing that, like we're all going through this life, this play or video game, this first person video game, the way that you see it, like each game, right? When you get to a certain level, it would always ask you, do you want to go left or right? Do you want to pick up that weapon or do you want to do this, right? Each game, life is the same thing. I don't know about you, but every big moment in my life, there has been like a slowed down version where it was almost like a TV show where I could sit up and look to the side and say, "Hey guys, what do you think I should do?" You know how they pause it on those sitcoms?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you have those moments where it slows down so much and there's clarity and you're like, "What should I do?" And it's like that there's that moment to make that decision and to define more of yourself.
Mm.
And we usually feed into that the desire more than the discipline. So it's just funny, man. Like
Something that I enjoyed, uh, especially when there's to making fun of the idea of just arguing for the sake of arguing. I end up going with a joke of saying, "Well, how do you put on your pants? Right leg first or left leg first?" Right? And purposely I would say the opposite and I'd say my way is right because that's how much sense arguing makes. It doesn't matter what it is, you're both right in the perception that you have. It's your perception. Your perception is right. With that, and that for me was is difficult to grasp as well. Kind of that ties into the cart situation, right? I fucking boy, I used to want to fight people. Like you lazy piece of shit. How, like, even I'm hurt and I'm still putting my shit away, and you out, like, man, it used to drive me nuts. And realizing, yeah, what am I upset about? Why am I upset? What is that? What about them not doing that is so upsetting to me that I'm willing to put my livelihood on the line, possibly going to jail, over a cart. And it's a difficult uh, thing to be aware. It's even harder to practice to do the things that keep us, I guess, I hate using the word right because it's not about a right, but makes us feel right, I guess. Feel right
I
makes
would
a
say
difference.
justified.
Justified. I like that word. Okay. Yes. Makes us feel justified for how we feel, why we do the things we do, and in the end, when I love it when people say, "Oh, I don't know why that person does this. I could never do that to myself, or I could never make those choices." We're not realizing they're making exactly the same choices, just different situations, different things. For example, oh, that person is addicted to cigarettes. I can't believe how that person's addicted to cigarettes and kid is so weak or whatever, whatever. But we're out here eating McDonald's every day and Coca-Cola every day and putting all these other toxins in our body, and not realize that holy shit, that the addiction is the same. The addiction is there. It's the same. It's just different substances, my friend. So we share so much that usually that's why it bothers when we see it on somebody else is because it's a reflection of what's happening internally, and we just don't acknowledge it. It's harder for us, whatever, for whatever reason, to acknowledge. Yeah, that's what's happening with me. And sometimes we re-acknowledge it, but we still actively choose to stay there. So I've met people that actively were like, "Yeah, I know drugs are bad for me. I know doing this is bad for me, but I've gotten to the place in my life where I don't care about my body, myself, my life anymore, and I'm gonna do these things. And it's like,
But they're probably comfortable.
and that's okay if that's what you're consciously deciding for your life. I have no part in that. If you like it, I love it, and I leave it at that. I don't have to participate, and if I participate, I better not be judging because there's no point in me judging. Ain't shit gonna change. And that just judgment
Yeah.
is just adding more pressure to me and more bullshit to my life, right? So, yeah, man, it's that simple, you know. And like you have said in the past, you know, we have the decision. We're choosing, okay. And sometimes that decisions, those boundaries, can seem mean or bad to for others, but that's what boundaries are for, to save you and your sanity, your peace, your experience of this thing we called life. Sometimes you have to protect it, and boundaries are there to protect it. We just have to learn how to use them. And I think you're doing a great job in your life implementing healthy boundaries, my friend. And that is helpful for me because it reminds me that one, I'm doing the same and that I have that capability because it's easily forgotten that I'm capable as well. And I'm my worst own critic, you know, and I can easily say to myself and convince myself that, nah, I can't do that. Nah, I can't stay consistent. Nah, I can't. Nah, you know what I'm saying? That's easy for me. I've done that all my life. I've been judging and expecting the worst out of myself my whole life. Now it's different though. Now I'm telling myself, yeah, I can. I'm doing it. You know, I'm gonna achieve it because I've been achieving. That the conversation is different and the outcomes are definitely different. And that's what this takes. Being honest out loud with somebody else is tough, especially when you being fully authentic and transparent. It's extremely tough because you're being extremely vulnerable. But at the same time, that's where you learn more. And it goes back to the question you asked, right? About the discomfort and what you get out of it. Like, this is uncomfortable. This is painful. It can be painful at times. But that is the growth out of that, right? And that's why it's important. And that's why it's important to have these conversations with somebody that is close to you, that you can trust and be fully authentic and transparent and say, hey, this is how I feel, this is what I believe, and be able to say it confidently and to have one, at least somebody else, here to say, I hear you. It doesn't matter whether you're wrong or right, but I hear you and I understand what you are saying. I can empathize with your perception. And most of the time, we can relate to the perception because we share a lot of similarities in our perceptions. So it's a lot to it, man. That's a deep question.
Yeah, it is. And and like everything else, there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beauty of all these. It's what makes sense and works for you.
I think for, maybe we can write a little note here for these conversations. We can make the title of the streams a question, right? And like that question that you had for today, can you repeat that question again or the statement earlier?
Oh, only through suffering do we truly understand.
Some start using a statement or with a or a making that question like a statement and having that as the title of the streams, and that way we can get people engaging in conversation based on the title. A big shout out to the homie Snippin. She does something very similar for her streams, and it's a great way to engage at least once with the audience and the streamer, right? Getting an opinion and getting the conversation started. So I really appreciate you asking that question, and I think from here out, maybe we can think of a question and put that as a title of it. What are your thoughts?
No, I think that would be a great way.
Nice, nice. All right, cool, cool, man. Yeah,
You know,
fun,
honestly.
right?
All right.
And for I think for us, it can also give us an anchor to get something going. But yeah, what you laughing at, good? Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. That's good.
uh, I give me some water, man. I think it's an excellent idea, man.
Word. Um,
Um, it would be, obviously we talk more, or maybe when we get more people that can kind of come up with topics that they would like to be
yeah.
discussed.
You know what? You know what?
Because really,
Rather
to,
than
to
talk about
me,
doing
the,
what I'm
the
doing.
key for all of this is self-awareness leads to self-discovery. Like that's always going to just be hit over and over and really go through this. You know what I'm saying? Like self-awareness leads to self-awareness leads to self-discovery.
Hold on, my bad. Through suffering. Do you believe that through suffering comes what was that?
True understanding,
True understanding. True. So what we can do
but
is
that's
either come
vague.
true. Okay. Understanding. Okay. Here we go. I got a better idea. Okay. So as we have our convo and stuff, we'll come up with some sort of topic that we'll be covering, and through that we'll create a question, and then on Kick, I'll be able to post it right here, as you can see there, and then I can just point it there, and now anybody who comes through while we're there, we can post at any
And
time.
you put comes true, there needs to be a space.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah.
I
See,
mean, I don't
chat.
know.
This boy started twitching if things. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Whatever you said. There needs a space. There's a space. Okay, you need to get that space.
Thank you, man. I'll be accepting me. I'm
Nah.
good with it, baby.
That's what
It
you.
is no longer my problem. That is now your problem.
Balls on your court. There you go. Oh shit. Perfect. But yeah, what do you think? I think that's a little better, more on the spot, spontaneous, like we've been talking about, and hopefully it can give something for the viewers as they continue coming through, and gives them a base of what we're talking about, of and an idea of where we're at, and a possible way to engage.
And then also put this one just as like uh, self-awareness leads to self-discovery.
With it. Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. Okay. So do.
Because you're gonna have to obtain, because if you don't have the self-awareness, it's just suffering, right?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
You're a
Self
victim.
awareness. What?
Leads to self-discovery.
You know I can't do two things at once. All right. So how about like, is this how you, like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
we leave it like that. Because one is a question, the other is more of a statement, and they can respond to either or.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
Because, in my opinion, if there is no self-awareness, then you're just pretty much suffering, and you're going to be more in the victim mentality. Woe is me.
Mm.
Or once you obtain that self-awareness, that suffering no longer you're now understanding why you're suffering.
There is a
And once you
purpose and a
understand
benefit to it.
why, now you have to accept it.
Mm.
And once you accept it, now I have to forgive and let it go.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was, and by doing all those, what are you learning? I'm learning about myself. I'm discovering parts of me and discovering how to better love, understand, and care for myself.
Mm.
And when I can do those for myself, now I'm available to the world to assist and help because now I know how to maneuver. I know when to entertain, when not to entertain. I know when to extend the hand, when not to extend the hand.
Yeah.
I know how to establish a boundary without getting manipulated. I know how to have a conversation without being triggered. I know how to love without being afraid. All those things will come into play as you dig deeper in the discovery of those, your awareness of yourself,
Mm.
you know?
Damn. For me, I feel self awareness at in my 40s is like watching those videos of a caged animal being let free into the wild. The cage is open. I know the cage is open, but I'm so used to what I've known my entire life, the cage, that it's so difficult to step onto the other side of that cage, to that of that door into freedom, of to self, to this world of my true self, right? And is a discovery that I have to step through that door each and every day. Every time I wake up feeling like the old ways, and slowly I have to change it to feel how I want to feel now. The what is changing now with how the things that I practice is how long it takes for me to go from feeling depressed or tired or whatever it is when I first wake up to feeling grateful and thankful and all those positive things. That time is getting shorter and shorter. Sometimes it's not the shortest, but it's still the time is definitely getting shorter, and that is something that I've had to deal with, that I've realized that I'm not the only one dealing with it, right? I mean, most of us struggle with that as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A big thing I do is uh, I do my little affirmations, all is well in my life. Everything is working out for the highest good, right?
Mm,
Um, I am open and receptive to all the healing energies of the universe. I understand I am safe in the universe and all life loves and supports me. So I do those 3 times, and I do. Oh man, the number one I do, I can't even remember right now because I'm on the spot.
spotlight, spotlight.
That up, man, like
That's what happens, man. It's all good. It's
the
all good.
hamster, man. He caught a hamstring, boy.
I.
Um. Oh, here it is. I am who I am, and that is enough. I start my day with that one. I
Mm,
am who I am. That is enough. I love who I am, and that is enough. I see who I am, and that is enough. So I start with that one. And then I do. I'm a, I am a radiant being of light, perfectly aligned with the infinite source of the universe, vibrating with love, peace, and harmony. I do that one 3 times. I get the goosebumps, I get the emotions, and that gets me completely out of whatever I'm,
mm,
what position I'm in. And then I do my other ones and I finish it off, basically saying what I expect to be making every month. I make such and such amount with ease and mutual benefit every day, every month, you know?
Mm.
And then I talk about the feeling. I feel free, grateful, full of abundance.
Ooh.
I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. You do that enough, bro, you pumped up, man.
Yeah.
As you're looking around and you see, like, I may not have it all, but I have everything to be grateful for.
Mm.
And the biggest thing is that I have my imagination and I have belief in myself to get everything that I do want. So I have opportunity to change it.
Yeah.
So if you are feeling, but that's a new day to have that ability to change it for the better. It just starts with your mind. It starts with those thoughts. It starts with the emotions about it and knowing that you have the ability to change it.
Mm.
You know, and so for me, that's a big part. And then obviously I do, 15 minutes to 30 minutes of reading. Uh, so before I even think about what I got to do for the day, like, oh, I got this and I'm all worked up, I read my book. And after doing the affirmation and reading that book, I'm just in a whole nother space,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, and I'm just, feeling good with where I'm at, what I got going on, and just trying to experience uh, living. Because for the longest, I was either in the past or the future, or trying to rush to a future that didn't exist. So I was never really present.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm really trying to focus on now, and just experience it. And some days it's challenging, like anything else. It's new, it's different, but it's not nothing that can't be done. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing is I know I have the ability to change it, you know, and it's just a matter of me getting to that point to take the necessary steps for that change and to have the belief in myself to continue it, the discipline.
Mm.
But yeah, and I've been doing those affirmations, like all five of those, reading a book consistently, probably about 2, 3 weeks.
Nice.
So
That's
I
really
had some other ones I was doing before, but I switched it up.
yeah. That's something that I definitely took away from my experience with you, and now I utilize. Well, I have it on. I have a special area, a reading nook here that I specifically go into and sit down, and I have a nice candle and the nice scents. Utilize all my senses to place myself in a positive atmosphere for a positive mental state to give my words that much more power when I'm saying it, right? And I too practice. So I open up. I start with my elevated wisdom book. I open it up. I usually. I like to now. I started was gonna go like, oh, I'm gonna go down the index and pick one what I was feeling that day. Now I'm almost doing it like I'm gonna open it to a page, and that page is going to be the one that I'm going to do that day. And even if it's one that I've done already, I'm going back and seeing if anything hits different, or if something new might pop up, and I may something can write down that I forgot or didn't notice before. I can write it down, and so I write notes on the book and I get that done. And meanwhile, I have also a little bit of I use meditating music in the background, the singing bowls and whatnot. Once I've done with that, I open up my Transcendence book. I look at what where am I at? Currently, I'm still trying to verbalize what am I looking for? What do I really want? I thought it was gonna be really easy to just, yeah, I just want $1 million and a big house with a lot of land on an island, and and then now that I'm working the rest of my life, I'm realizing a lot of things are falling off. A lot of desires are really not no longer really there. They weren't. Yeah, yeah. A lot of stuff is just kind of falling off, and I'm able to adjust that. But um, yeah, been writing that using my book, and I got myself a little notebook, and I use it like a journal, and that's where I put all my thoughts, my notes, and whatnot. And doing that in the morning also gets me in that positive mental state to do positive shit, and positive things happen in my life, sometimes, not all the time, but it helps me get through it as well. And so I definitely do appreciate you speaking on that, because for me, it definitely helps as well to do that. And when people ask me, oh, well, how do you maintain, not every day is easy, but how do I maintain? You heard it just now, live, and this is how we're doing it. When you see, I'm not the only one to practice these things, and this is how I'm learning it. Speaking with my friends that I trust about the things that we practice, and what are the experiences, and what are the benefits and downfalls. So, just to be fully aware of everything, and then through my experience, I go through it and can see, it was unfortunate that it didn't work for him, but for me, this tool actually works amazing, and I'm going to use it. So, sharing knowledge, the tools that I call knowledge, it's important, because you never know who or what may be helpful for somebody out there. And I continue to love how your mind, Ahmad, is open to the variety of ways of healing and spreading the information that you continue to gather. Most of the information you can find it at Manan website, mananaffiliates.com. We're having a lot of, he's compiling a whole lot of information, videos that are going into the membership list. We're uploading quite a bit of videos here soon as well there. So there is, we're also offering all this for free, most of this information for free through the YouTube channel as well. Pretty much every day you're posting on there as well, huh, Ahmad?
Oh yeah, I post my thoughts, things that I've been thinking about. Try to do some videos. I do. I also post different things on Instagram as well. So,
Yeah, and right
you
there.
know, that's therapy for me as well. Like these sitting down and having these sessions, just getting my thoughts out, and with each post, with each discussion, my true self is resonating,
Mm,
and I'm getting more confident with the skin I'm in.
yeah.
The task I believe is what I need to be doing,
Mm,
and how I need to share it. Because ultimately, I collectively we can make a change collectively, but we all have to be open to the possibilities.
mm,
And that's the biggest thing. Are we open to those possibilities?
mm,
Are we willing to be uncomfortable? Is the change worth no longer being accepted by certain peer groups or family members? Um, and those are questions that obviously all of you would have to answer, because I don't have the answer for that. I can't answer that, but I can only answer it for myself. And at this point in time, I am definitely willing to be by myself, definitely be talked about by family members, and that is fine with me.
mm,
Because what I'm doing it feels good for me. It's like everything I put out there is a piece, I guess, a piece of my, I don't want to say my soul, but maybe my essence.
mm-hmm.
you know, what I believe, what I'm feeling, what I think needs to be heard. And there's so many different people, honestly, saying all the same things, doing it differently, have been doing it for years. Um, I just want to continue, you know, being part of that movement and giving people support in a place that they can be themselves and gain that confidence and that self-awareness and discover that they themselves have the ability to provide the life that they've always thought they could.
Mm.
You know, that
Most
you
definitely.
can be everything you didn't believe you could, that you deserve all those things that you're telling yourself you don't. You know, and I say it on every chat we have. The only obstacle in life is going to be yourself.
Mm.
That is it. You know, whether it's the core values, whether it's the ego, your fear, insecurity, you know, it's yourself. And the sooner we're open, the sooner we can accept who we are. Like I said, I am who I am, and that is okay.
Mm.
I have to wholeheartedly believe that. So when I set my boundaries, I don't get manipulated or I feel bad. You know, when I'm honest with someone, I don't feel like crap because they get upset about it. You asked me, so I gave you my truth. How you took it is your problem. It's not mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm providing you asked, or, you know, sometimes maybe someone doesn't ask, but sometimes things need to be said, right?
Yeah.
You know, there are times that, you know, our input it probably isn't necessary, but there are times that things may need to be said to reinforce that boundary or to give someone a wake up call.
Mm.
You know, none of us want to know we're messing up or we're not reaching the potential that we can. You know, we want to think everything we do is perfect and we're just this great person and how we see it, what we do, there's no wrong in it. And in reality there isn't. Big picture there isn't. But once you apply that perspective and now you're on, you know, trying to think through someone else's, you know, how they say the shoe on the other foot,
Mm.
that's where you're wrong because you're not open to hearing someone else, or you're not open to the other possibility of a whole nother uh, reaction or change. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts on those topics there.
No, same man. I definitely appreciate that because for me, it's I connect a lot easier when I'm hearing somebody share their experience. My brain for whatever reason is a lot more open when I'm hearing this is how I did it versus this is what you need to do. I don't know if I'm just built different. I don't know if I'm the only one in this world that feels this way. But as soon as I start hearing this is what you need to do, my body just starts immediately shutting down. Like I don't want to do anything that you're telling me to do, right? But when I hear somebody that I am in awe about, hearing them say this is how I did it, I'm gonna, for whatever reason, lights a fire under my ass to go do that thing because I want, in my head, I want the results that that person has achieved doing that thing. And now it's shifting into, well, I just do my own thing. I can, it's okay to do it my way and how I'm doing, whatever. With depending on however else people are definitely gonna have judgment. People are gonna definitely gonna have their own opinions about how I'm doing it. But at the end of the day, it's about me, and if that's the way I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna live it up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's the key. As long as you're taking the steps to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And that's the biggest thing. Like We always worry about how or how do we look or how is it going to happen. That's the part we really need to let go of and just Nike is a good their slogan is great. Just do it.
Yeah,
You know, what do we truly have to lose? Nothing. You know,
yeah,
at the end of this ride, man, at the very end of this ride, and we look at everything, I think the main thing that most of us will be saddened and hurt by will be those regrets, opportunities we didn't take, or our inability to overcome our own fears. Like that is what's really going to mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
cause we truly have nothing to lose, man. Like, just take a shot. Who knows?
That's it, and
You
that's the
know.
thing. And
At
sometimes
least
the
you
point
took
is
your
to take the
shot,
shot.
man.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. Sometimes is that you oh, the outcome isn't the the what is supposed to
Whether you
happen.
make
It's
it.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. The point was to take the shot,
Yeah,
and
it's just to make like Michael Jordan said, you can't win a game if you don't shoot the ball. Whether or not I make it doesn't matter.
yeah,
The fact that I got the balls to do it, I,
yeah.
I gotta I gotta believe in myself.
Yeah. And
And
that
that's the
belief is that sixth element or missing whatever key or whatever you want to call it, that special tool. That belief is, be confidence is, man, that is so powerful.
it
Knowing,
is.
like he knew that he was confident, like we were talking about Michael Jordan now. He worked in and every day like Kobe and all these greats that they put in the work and they put in so much work that they were so confident every time they knew every time it left it they were money buckets because they did it so many times and it became such a muscle memory type thing that kind of like when you drive home and you're not even paying attention before you know it you're home. Muscle, that is the same thing.
And
You're confident you're gonna make it home. There's not even a second thought in your head. Yeah,
I know I've done that many a times, man.
many a time
Didn't even
texting on the
didn't even
phone or
remember the
something.
drive. Like I'm like, how the fuck did I get home? Like,
Mr. Child, let's go. Yeah.
yeah,
Same. It's trippy, man, but it's there. It's there. And when we think yeah. But anyways, I definitely life is beautiful, but at the end of the day, if life will be whatever it is that I make it. And
exactly.
that's it.
So why not live your life?
Indeed. Why not choose happiness?
Yeah,
Three L's.
yeah. Lead with love. Take time to laugh.
Laugh.
And always never stop learning. There
Yeah,
you go.
there
Never
you go.
stop.
Almost messing up. Never stop learning. Yeah.
Well, that's
But that's it. And for me, that has been such a useful tool to keep me grounded. Doing that, saying the three L's while doing breathing exercises is liberating. So there's a practice, breathing exercise that I practice, and what I do is I inhale for 4, take a deep breath in for 4, hold it in for 7, and then let it go for 8. Right? So go. That got a 7.
it's this one.
Right? Yeah. So and I do that. So breathe in, hold it for 8 seconds, and then breathe out. Breathe out. No, hold it for 7 seconds, and then breathe out for an 8 count. So breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, breathe out for 8. Doing that and saying the three L's in my head for me is it's almost like breathing in positivity, man. It makes me feel good physically, but also emotionally and mentally, I am thriving. Like I'm ready for the day. I can, all the things that I didn't want to get up and do this. I don't want to get up and do that. Now I'm in it. Like I'm excited for it. Oh, I need to take a shower. Let's do it. Let me put some music on and vibe out. Let me. Oh, I need to, get ready to go drive. Let me put on da 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 and go get the. You know what I'm saying? I get into whatever it is that I need to do for the day, and it's been a life changing tool, to be truthful, among so many others. But that is another way that I keep myself healthy in the morning, uh, the best way I can. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's good, man. Like, hey, you know, if we can't motivate ourselves, how are we gonna be able to motivate anybody else?
that's it. That's it. And that's why I'm really focused on myself, so I can lead by example, right? If I'm gonna, or talk the talk by walking the walk, or whatever you wanna, however you wanna see it, however you wanna say it, type say it. But yes, at the end of the day, I believe in what I'm saying because I'm actively doing it and I'm seeing the changes in my life, and I am no longer worried about how many people is helping. I'm just happy that I'm able to do what I'm doing and that it helps people, because I know now in my heart of hearts, and I'm believing that what I'm doing is helpful and it can help people, whoever decides to, listen and try themselves. So I am content with that. And like your positive affirmation says, I love myself. I truly do. I am enough, and I'm okay with that. I am who I am, and I'm okay
Yeah, man, that one gets me. That's the first one I start
with
with.
that. Yes, I
You
start with
know,
that. Yeah,
and it's just accepting and understanding I am not perfect and it's all right, man.
yeah.
It's all right, man. Like I am a stickler on a lot of things. I do like shit tidy and organized.
You
That
sure
is
fucking
me.
do.
And it's just what it is.
Yeah,
And I can't be mad about it or wish I could. No, that I need to embrace that part because that is me. And clearly that's an important part to me.
yeah,
And there's a reason I'm like this, you know?
yeah.
Um, that I do care about a lot of things. I am a sensitive person, even though people don't may not believe it how it may look or come off, but I genuinely want everybody to succeed
Mm,
and live a life of fulfillment, to be pleased with what they have going on. Um, it's funny because I always said, but then that the reason I don't have this power is because it would change the dynamics of why people come to Earth to experience life. Um, but I always said, like, if I had one wish, it would be to make sure that everybody being born would have no disability.
mm,
So that way, everybody has a clean slate to live life. Now, obviously, you get in a car accident, something happens after the fact. I can't change that. But at least being born, you had the opportunity that we all do. But in reality, um, that soul that came back, they came to experience that limit to better understand how it would be in that particular situation. And
mm,
so as you start reading, a lot of books and understanding how a lot of these things work, and if we pre-sign up to experience life and we have our path already set up and the people are set up to play certain parts, then it all makes sense that they're going through that and that's what they chose. And now that I have a better understanding of that, that helps me too with being more confident and having less fear in life.
mm.
I can't complain about the suffering if this is what the fuck I signed up for. I signed up to go through this to reach my higher self. So what am I complaining about? Like this is the experience I wanted. And once you get to that point of acceptance and understanding, like, oh, well, since I signed up for this, let me start really looking and paying attention. What haven't I been listening to or paying attention to where I feel that this is so terrible? And then it was like, what? No brainer. I'm not listening to myself. Intuition is telling me to do you. Stop worrying about this. Stop trying to please all these people,
Yeah.
you know? But the other side of me is like, well, this is what I got to do. I have all this responsibility and I have to do this. And then the ego kicks in, like, oh, well, you're the man and you need to be saying this. And, you know, don't forget you're this guy. He's Mr. Suave and got to get the cheeks. And then it's like all this crap in this pot. And you get lost of really who you are and the experience you're supposed to be having. Because if I would have paid attention in the beginning,
Mm.
I wouldn't be going through all this suffering. But I had to sign up to do the suffering to reach to the point where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So there is no coincidence. It's just the synchronicities of everything bring you to the moment right now. Because I'll be honest, I've known you what since 2013,
Damn. Yeah.
and we talked about doing this back then.
Yeah.
Remember, you like, oh, we got to talk. And back then, I was talking more like relationships, kind of like Andrew Tate and a lot of other people, right? That was more what I was talking about back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty spot on. I ain't gonna say I was wrong, but I had good valid points,
Yeah.
which we all do.
Indeed.
But clearly, that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I had to go through the suffering. I had to go through realizing and accepting myself to bring me to the point of now to having the confidence to be talking and to be on screen and really feeling good about what we are talking about. Positive things, right? Human connection, self awareness, self discovery, believing in yourself, And sometimes the channel or I look at the views of people watching, is like, man, no one's really paying attention. And it could be disheartening, but I don't get disheartened because I know what we're doing, like you said earlier, is a good thing. It's a positive thing.
Mm.
And it's like anything else. Anything that's new, it's gonna take time, right?
Heck yeah.
If you eat nothing but processed food, when I put that avocado or I put some raw carrots in front of you, it's gonna be disgusting. It's gonna take a while for you to be able to eat it and enjoy it. Same with these conversations. These are conversations that you got to be open to. You got to be ready and willing to look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us aren't at that place, man. And that is okay. We're all going to get there at some point. Um, but we're just laying the groundwork so people are well aware this is a place you can come that's supportive and understands that we got to accept who we are and all the things that we have gone through, all the things that we've done. You got to give yourself grace, man. And just don't judge yourself.
Mm.
You know, the sooner you can stop judging yourself, the sooner you stop judging others.
Hell yeah. I think one of the beautiful things that we are one of the beautiful things that we are building is that we continue to facilitate a positive, healing, accepting environment because although there are places that exist out there, there are not many and they're not easily accessible, right? There are a lot of these places that you can go to heal, to detox, to whatever it is that you need. Unless you're making buku money, you can't travel to Bali and do a full body cleanse. A type of healing, learn about yoga. You can not do that without spending 30, 40, $50,000, and most people do not have that type of money to just spend on themselves. Yeah, or time, exactly. And so, I love, that's one thing that I believe in what we're doing, because it does work. It is healthy. It is good, and it is needed. There are people out there that are looking for, continuously looking for an environment, more people like ourselves that will help, that are willing to help, and vice versa, to build the lives that we truly desire. And so, with that, man, I'm extremely confident. I'm extremely confident in myself. I'm extremely confident in us. I'm extremely confident in all of us that if we put our minds to it and put the work into it, anything is achievable. Everything is achievable. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for life and everything that comes with it, my friend. Everything that comes with it. It's been a great conversation. We're coming out here to getting about an hour and a half. I'm have to get going here, but I definitely do appreciate your time, my brother. And perhaps maybe Friday before I head out, or this weekend before I head out to Maine, we can have another chat.
No, I'll be in the air on Friday.
Oh, you're going back up. That's right. That's right. My bad. My bad. Okay, so cool. So when you get back, we'll sit down and have another convo. I should be back next week by the 26th of August.
Yeah, I get back on the 20th.
Bad, 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 bad. Cool, cool, cool. So anytime after that, we'll sit down and have another convo. But man, another great one in the books. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your perception and perspective. And the way you continue to articulate yourself continues to get better, clearer, and easier to understand, my friend. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm very proud of you. Namaste. Namaste. Any final thoughts?
Not just everybody continue to live the three L's and work on yourself, man. Self-awareness is the key. Continue to just be aware. And like we have in the comment, man, self-awareness leads to self-discovery.
Mm, I love it.
So, and self-discovery will lead to self-mastery. And that's the goal.
That is.
Goal and ascend.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. What was That's a jam, boy. We gotta get some other ones. But
Yeah, I know it's like limited.
yeah, we gotta have to pay everything you gotta pay for nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. But anywho, again, Chad, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to coming through. Everybody that has come through and chatted. As we continue to grow, more and more will come through and be participating. So, I encourage you to get in here early and don't feel shy to put your thoughts in here. This is a safe place to have a conversation, and I would love to hear. We would both love to hear your thoughts on the topics that we speak about, and unless you're a complete asshole, we're definitely gonna have that conversation. Even if you're an asshole, we might give you a little bit of attention, and then later on,
I was
before
gonna say, yeah, everybody's welcome. You know,
True, true. There you go. So you hear it from the man himself. If he's cool, I'm cool. And yeah, I am definitely excited for the next one. I'm always excited for having a conversation with you, brother, because for me, it's something that I always take away something from our conversations. And ultimately, now that is a purpose that I go with or have with most of my friends. Go into conversations with all of my friends with a feeling like something was done, something was achieved on that, not just another boohoo experience or whatnot. But yeah, so quit on rambling. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a blessed night. I will check you guys out later on. Have a good one. Peace out.
peace.
Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us,